Oh, do we want to talk about all the different like languages? Because I just want to throw it out there that the French one absolutely nailed it with Mario.
We just defeated Ronan the Accuser, and before we're ready to stomp on the Koopas, let's go and recover and have a chat. With me, I have Brad, the Archimandrite of Mario.
Okay, hold on. What does that? What's Archimand?
Archimandrite. You're an Archimandrite.
What's an Archimandrite?
It's like an ancient medieval title.
Okay, but at what part of the hierarchy is it? Is it like below a duke or above a duke? Like, where is it?
Look, you're asking a lot of questions. And I'm just trying to come up with some fun things to call you guys.
Hi, everybody.
And me, I am Hunter, and I am also here. Today, we kind of wanted to go over everything we know about the Mario movie. This coming out in a few weeks now, actually.
Yeah, it's right around the corner, and I've been waiting 24 years for it, so I'm excited. If you could see my face, it is a bright beet red.
Yeah, and
bursting with excitement.
And we have quite a lot of trailers and TV spots and all of those types of things to go over. Most of them are pretty short, but
they're pretty short. But Nintendo was very generous with the amount that they've shown. Even the short ones, they show off a lot of the movie.
Yeah, there's a lot of repeated footage, of course, but even every single one of them seems to show off something new, which is just cool. Or something we haven't seen before, whether or not it's going to be in the movie. Something fun.
At least haven't seen it on in movie format.
Exactly.
Most of these we have seen.
And I think that we have almost everything that we're going to get at this point, only a few weeks away, including the self-proclaimed final trailer.
Yeah, that's a very loose term.
When you consider that trailers are different from teasers and teasers are different from TV spots and whatever other marketing that they're going to do. So
yeah, colloquially they're all trailers.
As of March 20th, this is everything that we know.
Actually, the first teaser I think was longer than both trailers.
Oh, was it?
I think so. I think the first teaser was like 2+ minutes, and then like the last trailer was like 1minute and 30 seconds.
Oh, wow. Well, the first thing that we're going to go over is that Mario movie Direct, which was 8 minutes long. Although I think that most of it is more talking points that we can kind of skip through.
Yeah, we know who's playing in this, which I think I want to highlight. I think a couple people, one being Jack Black and Chris Pratt.
Of course.
And what was his name? Keegan?
Is that Keegan Michael Keys? I believe?
Keegan Michael Keys. Yeah, as Toad. Who? Those are the three highlights that I'm gonna name off. I think they do a good job from what I've seen.
Yeah. So without further ado, this one is going to be one of those ideally video podcasts. So we start off with Miyamoto talking about some stuff. We can just skip past
the absolute legend himself.
The legend, and he's looking good.
My brother waved at him.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It was at E3. He waved and said, "Hi, Miyamoto," and he waved back. It was I was very jealous of him. I really wanted to be him in that moment.
Yeah, I've seen Miyamoto a few times actually at E3, but I've never interacted with him in any way, so that's kind of cool that he had that moment. He's 70 years old now. I have no idea who this is. Some guy from Illumination Studios, I gather.
He looks like the chef from Ratatouille.
But like aged quite a bit.
The old chef. I guess it's not that big though.
He's looking good for 70, actually.
He is looking fantastic for 70.
And here we go. We have the very first announcement for this movie, basically, that Chris Pratt is playing Mario. And we know that, of course, he's an avid Mario fan ever since the first game where he was stomping those Koopas. We have Jack Black as Bowser. Which
I adore the timeline where we're in, where Jack Black gets to be Bowser.
What a choice, too. We'll get to some of his lines later in the trailer, but he's really good.
He's really good. I think Chris Pratt is okay too. At least at first, I thought when he got chosen, I thought it was the most Hollywood corporate route they could have gone.
Yeah,
because I'm like, oh, of course you chose Chris Pratt. But you know what? We'll see as it goes on. It grows on me.
and you could say the same something similar about Jack Black, but at least Jack Black is super fun. I'm a pretty big fan of Tenacious D and just his musical career and The Pick of Destiny and all those things. So I'm like really happy that that like he's in it for like no good reason.
Yeah, I love Kung Fu Panda myself, so I like him in his animated roles.
Right. And we have the first trailer, actually. I forgot.
It's starting off so epic too, just the way that the dramatic scene that is being played out. Yeah. I always appreciate it when they give it that air of like what's the word I'm looking for? Like
darkness.
Terror. Yeah. Like, oh wow, this is menacing. Like, oh wow, look at the damage that can actually happen.
Yeah. Look at how big it is compared to
it looks like a world in of itself. I love it. Oh, I forget the actor that plays Kamek.
Unsure. Maybe they'll show up later.
Yeah, they will. But Kamek also, I really liked the voice acting for Kamek, or at least the voice they chose. Sometimes voice acting and voice actor are kind of like a little different. Like some people get chosen for their voice acting role because of their voice, not necessarily because they can act in their voice.
Right.
But either way, I think whatever the case, Kamek is a good job too.
Is it Kevin Michael Richardson?
Oh, I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know the name very well.
But either way, he did a good job, whoever it was.
Yeah, he did a good job. And that walk, it reminds me of the games. I love it.
It reminds me of Mario 64 in particular. Like the way he's like moving his arms when he walks and stuff too. It's a very twisty kind of walk.
I think it reminds me more of like Mario Party 4 is what it reminds me of. Specifically the Bowser from Mario Party 4, 5, and 6.
That's pretty specific, but
it's very specific, but I have an eye for that.
That's good. We have the penguin guys. I forget what their name. Are they just penguins?
I think they're just called penguins, but I could be wrong. I assume that these were all the babies that were born from all the ones that Mario dropped off a cliff.
On the Mario 64 wiki, they're just called penguins. And I remember because you race with that big penguin, and then you could drop his kid off the cliff and stuff.
Yep.
I remember, I think that
everyone did it. Don't judge me.
Might have done it accidentally the first time, but then maybe some subsequent time.
You don't accidentally throw a baby penguin off a cliff.
And this is just great. It shows.
I love that scene. That's the illumination coming out.
Two things. One, the seriousness and just the deadpan seriousness, I guess, of this movie, the way that they're like handling the characters, which I think is great, especially this penguin scene. But also how silly it is. And how powerful Bowser is. This accomplishes a lot.
I know.
Actually. This is a really good first scene.
That first flame-throwing scene, I'm just like, oh my god.
Yeah.
That was more powerful than he's ever been in any of the games outside of Galaxy, controlling like universes and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, look at this. Just, oh my god, power. Wow. And someone pointed out quite clearly when the castle was falling, you could see like the rays of the star coming out.
Oh, really? Let's go back.
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah, you quite clearly see that.
Yeah, like right there.
Especially
with this like rainbow kind of deal happening around it. Yeah, that looks a lot like the like rainbow kind of color of the star, like this guy too. Which the star power, I don't know if they're going for. I don't know, maybe you have better context for this. Are they going for like Mario 64, like collecting the stars for the stars, or is it more like the invincibility stars? Like,
I think it's gonna be more of the collecting the stars thing, because like the point of the stars in like the 2D kind of Mario games is obviously to make you invincible, and so you could kind of go faster and speed through and knock all your enemies down.
Right.
But since he's grabbing more than one, obviously he's grabbing. I think what they're gonna do is that each world has a star associated with that world.
Right.
And he's going around each world just to take their star. And it's like the star of their, like the star powers their world sort of thing.
more like a focused, like a slightly more focused Super Mario 64 kind of deal.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Mario 64 was kind of like that. Like,
yeah,
the power stars were from each of the worlds in the painting. And
yeah, there was more than
so,
one, but I think that they're probably going to stick to one just because this is like a movie that has to conclude in under 2 hours.
Yeah. I'm glad they're not doing 120 of them.
Yeah. And then we see Mario first appearing in the Mushroom Kingdom.
He actually looks pretty good here.
Yeah. And
I actually like his design. I like the world so far. It looks much better than its portrayal in Sonic the Hedgehog. For those
Toad,
that don't know,
course.
there was a jab on that.
Oh, was there? I'm not.
Yeah.
Admittedly,
have you not seen the Sonic the Hedgehog movie?
No, I haven't, and I really should watch it before this. There was 2 of them, right?
I didn't. Yeah, I didn't know my joke was gonna fall on deaf ears.
I'm sorry. To be completely honest, I am not much of a Sonic fan. I'm also not much of a Mario fan.
I put on my hat for each one, so I was excited when the Sonic movie happened. I'm obviously even more excited for this. But in the Sonic movie, they make a jab at Mario by like Sonic can open portals with his rings, and like one of the rings is like a mushroom planet, and he's just like, "Oh, I hate mushrooms," and he closes it. And yeah,
that's fun.
If we go back real quick to there's the scene where he's just like, "Oh, I don't know where I am.
Right?
Where am I?"
Yeah.
When I first saw that scene, I just got annoyed because I knew exactly what was gonna happen. Like, he's gonna be from Brooklyn. He's gonna have that actual plumbing job. He's not native to the Mushroom Kingdom, which obviously is part of Mario. But I just I had initially a negative view on it. Mostly because I think it's a little corny just to have like the hero just fall into a new world. I'm just like,
right,
what is this place? And like, as though the audience themselves are not like, we know what this is. You don't need, like, a random person who gets thrown into the middle of a new world isn't going to verbally say, what is this place? It's going to be more like visual cues that he's confused as to what's happening. But
right.
Anyway.
No, something that I was worried about that a lot of video game movies do, actually including the Sonic movie, and just a lot of movies in general, like that Monster Hunter movie, a lot of video game movies.
Oh God, I love that Monster Hunter movie.
Really? I was a little worried that they were going to do something similar with this movie. I thought that it was going to start off in the real world and that it was going to be Chris Pratt, like not voice acting, but acting, like Chris Pratt in New York, being Brooklyn. And like, I thought that it was going to be like he somehow gets sucked into like a sewer grate or something like that, and then ends up in the Mario, like through presumably this pipe right here, kind of like ending up like in the Mario world, something along those lines. But in future stuff that we'll look at, thankfully, I don't think that is the case. It's just that's a plot device that so many video game movies use, and I just was
it's a cop out. It's like, I don't want to think too hard about this universe, so I'm gonna have like the college interns who haven't played these games like fill out the draft.
But it seems like Nintendo actually does have a pretty big role in the writing and the lore and stuff. And we'll show some stuff later that directly introduces new lore into the Mario universe that works alongside existing lore. That this movie seems to add to it.
I can't imagine Nintendo doesn't have a firm grip on the studio.
Exactly, right.
Making this. Not after the last Mario movie.
Yeah, exactly.
I think 30 some odd years ago.
Yeah. So we'll have to see. I'm at least glad that they're not doing that. I'm willing to go on whatever journey they're like willing to show us, but I'm at least glad that they're not going with the angle that I mentioned, because geez. But
yeah, very.
Anyways, so that's basically it for this direct, I think.
Yeah. And I think after this direct, there was a lot of kind of like negativity going on with Chris Pratt, or at the very least, initial negativity. And I understand it because it wasn't like the Mario voice, and you didn't have Charles Martinet, and people had kind of expected that. But at the very least, when my initial thought was, or not, or at least after mulling it over, I realized, yeah, I probably don't want the high squeaky Mario the entire time. It makes sense to
Yeah.
have a more dialed back Mario voice.
When they first announced it, I like during that direct, I was actually kind of worried about hearing Mario's voice. There was two angles they could have gone with it. They could have made, or three really. They could have made him a silent protagonist and just completely silent the entire time, maybe some wahoos here and there, which would, I think,
Yeah.
not be great for cinema, unless they had some creative way to do it. Or they could have gone with Charles Martinet and it sound very squeaky, like you mentioned. And I think that would get real old really fast, but also I was not going to put it past Illumination to do something cutesy that gets real old really fast.
Yeah.
That's kind of their whole brand at this point. And but I'm glad that they went for the third option, which was having a different voice actor, still having Charles Martinet as a role, but having a different voice actor play the character of Mario. I think that was the right choice. Chris Pratt, I've heard some mixed opinions online about, and one mainly due to some of the stuff that he was involved in, or at least his church was involved in, which he seems to have backed away from, some kind of sketchy stuff. And as far as I'm aware, he doesn't really have any social media or anything, so it's kind of hard to get any direct quotes or stuff from him. But as far as like just the voice goes, I think that some of it is warranted and some of it isn't. But I think that as far as his voice goes, I think that he was, I don't know, I'm still kind of feeling it out.
I don't think it's bad.
Yeah, I'm not put off by it. I think,
especially from some of the redos that they've clearly done.
Right.
So like, I think they had enough time to like, hey, they got the message. They want, a little bit more upbeat, a little peppier voicing on some of the scenes. So like some of the wahoos changed.
Yeah.
So I do think they're trying, and I think it's fine. I think it's good.
Yeah, I forget the term for it in TV, but not that they have to do it here, where they will dub over a scene. They'll have the actors come back in and they'll use the same type of microphone and everything usually to where it sounds very, very similar. And they'll re-record certain lines, kind of voice overing their previous lines. And sometimes you can kind of tell, like a lot of the Harry Potter movies and stuff, you can like extremely tell that was a voiceover and not the original line that was said during that footage.
Sometimes if they're really drastic, it's like their heads are turned so you can't see the lips move so that they can throw in that line.
Yeah, one of my favorite shows, Burn Notice, which is about like a retired spy. Like it gets a little extra about it. But I think that with animation, they're able to actually reanimate it, maybe some of it they did a little bit of that. They did just some voiceover and it was close enough to where they matched it. But yeah, Illumination is a very talented, like they have a lot of very talented animators. So I
was gonna say what you want about the Minions and like the things you don't like maybe about the studio. I think they are very competent animation studio.
Oh, they're fantastic.
They do tell good stories. Yeah,
exactly. I really liked the first Despicable Me. I never watched the rest of them. But
no, me neither. Well, I did because I have little siblings, but gosh, yeah. They do good work.
Yeah, exactly. Like it's great animation. I was an animation major for like 2 years before I dropped that for computer science, literally in my last semester. But yeah, like I can appreciate good animation, and Illumination, cream of the crop. So I have. I'm sure that this is going to be greatly, like very, very well animated. And if they did voice over some parts like the Wahoo, or there's also a part later where they're like, what is this kind of line that he did in that first trailer was actually, I think, removed entirely.
They just straight up removed it. And I'm glad they did, because it feeds right into what I was saying.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that maybe that was a worry for a lot of people, and that's why they removed it. And I saw that same scene. He moves the exact same way, and I'll show a comparison clip later. But it's literally they just animated his face slightly differently. So I think that they're definitely taking a lot of attention, like consumer attention, into this movie. So the way that we're gonna kind of try to do this is the very first thing that they ever announced was in that Nintendo Direct. And they just posted the final trailer as well. Some of these in-between things are going to be, I don't know these specific dates exactly. I haven't done it in order like I did for that Tears of the Kingdom video. But we're going to go kind of roughly in order. Sort of, not really. And show some of the footage from there.
I think the major ones are like the trailers, and I think that's fine. The other ones, like, we can do as best we can, but I don't think anybody's going to call us out for it.
Yeah, exactly. So this was from I think it was the NBA All-Star Weekend. They did just a couple of TV spots. The source for this is not the originals, obviously. It's this channel right here. I'll post a link to it in the show notes. Although I think this show's all 13, but I think there's like been 14 or 15 since then that I'll share in the show notes as well. So I think this is slightly outdated, or he just didn't have all of the information. But either way, these are the spots that they showed during the NBA All-Stars weekend. Which actually, let me go back really quick. I don't know too much about the Mario lore, but this specifically...
That's from Odyssey.
Yeah, it's just from Odyssey, right?
Yeah, or at least it shows up in Odyssey. It might, it might also just kind of hint at what I think it was called. Was it Sarsaparilla? I don't know. It's the land that Daisy comes from. It's in Super Mario Land, the first one. That's quite clearly like desert themed and Egyptian themed. But yeah, the Upside Down, those are definitely from Odyssey. At least I can say.
Okay, Odyssey was the only Mario game that I actually beat. I've played a few of them, but
I don't actually know if I can count what Mario games. I know I haven't obviously beaten all of them, but like, man, I've beaten a lot of them. Oh, that's another one. Okay, that's a trope. The little let's it go, but like it's all like serious and silent.
Yeah,
let's it go, and I'm like,
it's very serious.
It's very early 2000s. I will invoke a very specific imagery and feeling with referencing that.
I don't think that all of that was accidental, though. I think that they're trying to go for a mix of nostalgia from your childhood, and maybe not all of that is video game related. So that might actually just be a part of a really intelligent decision that they made. Some 4D chess.
Well, kudos to that, and I'm assuming it wasn't just because someone was like, let's just make it dark.
Yeah, exactly. So we have the first appearance of Donkey Kong, actually.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so I have, I'm not even going to say a love-hate relation, but I just kind of don't like Seth Rogen's voice.
Okay.
And that's when I heard it on Donkey Kong, I'm like, oh, God. I've heard his voice in a lot of like, I at least not a lot, but in some animations, every time I hear it, and I can't help but think of like kind of like those like Superbad, or like not necessarily Superbad, but like those genre of movies where it's just like a comedy, and I can only hear of Seth Rogen. Like, there's no voice acting really when it comes to it.
Seth Rogen, very, very talented voice actor, just actor in general. He played Steve Wozniak in the Jobs movie. Freaking amazing job. He's such a very talented actor, but most of his work are these like comedy movies where he just plays himself.
It's not that great.
Yeah,
it could just be. There's some people, like, my folks don't like Will Ferrell at all in any of his movies. I like some of his movies. It's like, just some people you don't like their movies. You don't like their comedy. I just think Seth Rogen's one of those people for me.
Have you seen The Interview?
Oh, you know what? That is a movie I haven't seen. I should see that one. Man. That's the one with the Jim Kong. North Korean dictator.
Kim Jong-un, yeah.
Kim Jong. I keep calling him Jim.
Jim.
Jim Kong-un.
That was played by Randall Park, a great actor. James Franco, man, that movie was
I like
amazing.
James Franco.
James Franco, Seth Rogen, and Randall Park made a movie together, basically, and that was the interview.
Okay.
That movie, such a great movie. It was one of the best Seth Rogen movies in the world, and we have to do a movie night sometime. Gerardo loves it too. Man,
okay, then we'll definitely have to do that.
But in any event, Seth Rogen, this is not one of his, I think, finer, like we mentioned.
Well,
brilliant actor. But
I will give him the benefit of the doubt, and I will, because it's Nintendo and everybody else seems to be doing pretty good. Also, I'm going to leave a little asterisk here. I think I forgot to mention Luigi in my top 3. I think I'm going to replace one of them with Luigi, because Luigi, I think that one is right up next to Bowser. Was it Charlie Day?
Yeah, Charlie Day.
Yeah, fantastic. Just, I would kiss him. He does a great job with Luigi. But I will give DK a shot. I will give Seth Rogen a shot. If he was going to play any character, it probably would have been DK. So we'll see.
A lot of people weren't super happy with Chris Pratt playing Mario. I think that a generic white guy is probably the best option that you want to do for probably a lot of like young kids self-insert character being Mario. I think that just having like a very, very, not even just a generic white guy sound, like just like a generic voice, which is what he is, doing a slightly Italian accent is probably fine for this movie.
Or Brooklyn.
Yeah, like a Brooklyn Italian accent. So like a couple generations in. I think that's probably
Italian,
fine.
A couple generations in a Brooklyn accent.
Yeah, some kind of like, yeah, exactly. I think that he does that pretty well, actually, all things considered.
Yeah, I don't think, again, that's why I think I don't think it's that bad. I don't think it's that bad.
Whereas you look at Seth Rogen, and I feel
it's
like
just
this is just Seth Rogen. Yeah,
it's just Seth Rogen.
Like Seth Rogen,
he's not even trying to do a donkey voice.
We mentioned very, very talented actor in the movies where he puts his all into it, but a majority of his movies are very low effort, where he's just playing Seth Rogen. Some of Seth Rogen's movies where he is just playing himself, some of them are pretty good, like The Interview, or I really liked This Is the End. But man, some of them, yeah, I totally get it. But for better or for worse,
it's a big tangent on why we don't like Seth Rogen.
I like Seth Rogen, and I liked him as an actor and everything. I just feel like this is maybe one of his weaker performances, but we'll see. The movie's not out yet, and they've clearly been doing some voice work with re-recording some of the voices, so we'll have to see in the future. Clearly, Donkey Kong is not a major part of the movie, so they probably haven't felt the need to show us more clips of it.
No.
But in any event, we see Mario getting the cat upgrade. What is that from?
That one is from Super Mario 3D World.
Okay. Okay.
Or shoot, was it also in Land? I don't think it was in Land. Super Mario 3D World final answer. I'm gonna put that in.
Okay. Okay.
Comment if I'm wrong.
Yeah, I have no clue. I'm not a massive Mario fan like yourself. You're the what did I call you? The Archimandrite of Mario. Did I get that title correct, Mr. Archimandrite?
Do you call him Mr. or is there like another title like you'd say Your Highness to a king? What do you say to an Archimandrite?
Good question. Next question.
Next question. What are we doing here?
Yeah, I was gonna. Do you have context for this?
Context is that they're probably making this like a universal thing, like Mario Galaxy.
Okay, there was a line from Peach that said it's a big galaxy or something like that.
Yeah, it's a big universe or something, and it's quite literally like when they say world, it looks like they're talking about worlds. So this is
like the Donkey Kong Kingdom and wherever New York is, New Donk City or whatever. We'll see that in a little bit.
Yeah.
And the Mushroom Kingdoms, the Penguin Kingdom, whatever that is.
I do think this is probably just like some movie magic, you know, and like they have to interpret something this way. So
the in-between worlds. Something.
Yeah. And that makes sense.
We have this clip, which looks like it's them approaching the Donkey Kong Kingdom, the Donkey Kong country. If you know. Yeah, we'll show a little bit more of that later.
This is really cool. I actually was really excited to see the Fire Flower, and two, just having multiple people utilize the specials. There's another trailer that we'll see that the Donkey Kong gets a power up, and I think it's so cool.
Is Peach using the Fire Flower a thing? I know that there's some Peach games. Yeah. Okay, cool.
Yeah, so that's her Fire Flower outfit. So she does get to use the Fire Flower in a couple games.
I thought that it was going to be cool either way, but it's cool that they're like tying it into existing lore in that sense.
Yep.
And I think that, I don't know if this is the first time we get to hear Anya Taylor-Joy's voice, but Anya Taylor-Joy playing Princess Peach. I have some mixed opinions on it.
I don't think this is the first. This is the official first trailer. The first trailer.
The first trailer
was like the voice? One. Yeah, not the teaser, but the first trailer. The one where Mario's coming out onto the basically to fight Smash Bros with Donkey Kong, but it's very silent and slow.
Okay, yeah.
That's when we first hear Peach's voice.
Okay, I have some mixed opinions on Anya Taylor-Joy. Love Anya Taylor-Joy. Really, really liked the Queen's Gambit. Liked The Witch. Liked a lot of the stuff that she's in. The X-Men New Mutants. I don't know if she was a fantastic choice for Peach, but in a similar way to Mario, where they needed a very generic sounding guy to play the main character, maybe they were going for a similar thing with Peach, because she is probably even more squeaky sounding.
Yeah.
Very like, like kind of like generic female.
Like princess, like if Snow White talked, which she does, but it's like Snow White.
Yeah, but to like the nth degree, like.
Yeah, and I love that about Princess Peach. I think she's okay. Like, she was less offensive to me than like Mario originally was with Chris Pratt.
See, I'm the other way around. I'm the other way around.
Oh, she was more offensive than Chris Pratt to you initially.
Yeah.
And I can see that. If she just leaned just a little bit more into like the squeakierness of Peach.
Yeah, like a little bit higher pitched voice, I think.
Yeah, I think she would be perfect. I think it would be great. But as it stands right now, I just think it's going to be okay. I don't think there's a single person on this roster who it hasn't at least hit okay. But we'll judge Seth Rogen later
when the movie comes out. We can have a postmortem about it, perhaps. Yeah, I think that she's fine. I think that for a similar reason to Chris Pratt, they were going for a more generic sounding voice. And I think some of the updates to the character that Odyssey introduced, with her being less of a damsel and having a bit more agency, specifically with Bowser kidnapping her and she could have left at any point, and then Mario just kind of coming up and like, you know what, I don't care about any of you guys. Just kind of a bit more of like a strong female character as opposed to the generic damsel in distress that she has been up until this point. In that sense, Anya Taylor-Joy is a great choice. She has a lot of stronger of a voice, a lot more like not high pitched, less whiny damsel-y that Peach usually comes across. And I think that might have been a good choice in that sense.
Well, in that sense, I disagree. I think Princess Peach, while being a queen in her own right, I think that's just part of her character, though. So yeah, I do wish that they leaned in on it.
That's why I understand why they went for it, but I have some very competing opinions going on in my head about it.
Yeah.
So they're on some kind of floating deal. Oh, we have this clip again.
Yeah, it's
the Yoshis.
Oh, that's so cute. I love the Yoshis, dude.
I love the Yoshis. Let's get back there. The Yoshis.
Oh, look at them. It's just they're gonna be. Look, hold. I didn't even notice. It's the flower in the background, right, almost in the middle. It's like the happy flower.
This.
Yeah.
Is that from like Yoshi's Island or something?
It's from Yoshi's Island. It's the happy flower. It's like the flowers that you get throughout the level that all accumulate at the end, and you actually see a couple others. That's so cool.
That's really smart. Man, so much care went into this movie, clearly.
Yeah, that's good. I like that.
The Mario Kart of course. Mario Kart is such a massive franchise in and of itself.
It is, but I did not expect Mario Karts to like make it into the movie in the way that it did, especially just verbatim. They just ripped Mario Kart, like his iconic Kart straight from the games.
Yeah, and Mario Kart 8 Deluxe specifically, all of the Mario Karts, but especially 8 Deluxe. A lot of non-gaming friends that have like owned Wii's or something in the past might not have Mario games, but they have Mario Kart. Everyone has Mario Kart. I got my little sister who has a Switch. I got her a copy of Mario Odyssey, but for like Christmas, actually for her birthday. But before that, she had Mario Kart. Like no other Mario games, Mario Kart. And I think Mario Kart is still the top performing game on the Nintendo Switch.
Yeah, I would not be surprised. It's Mario Kart. It's without a doubt. And I'll even say I think it's going to be Mario Kart by at least an 8 million sale margin.
You're right on the dot. The number one is Mario Kart 8 Deluxe at 52 million copies sold.
And number two
is Animal Crossing New Horizons at just under 42. So you're at 8 million and some change, actually.
Almost 8.5 million. So godlike at this.
You are right on the dot.
I know my Nintendo.
Yeah. So Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, massive seller, even on the Wii. Like everyone has Mario Kart. Like they might not even have other Mario things, but people have Mario Kart. Mario Kart is almost more, maybe not in the gaming world, but in the casual gaming world, Mario Kart is bigger than Mario. Everyone has Mario Kart.
Yeah.
So it's of course, I wasn't expecting it, but it makes complete sense that they were going to add Mario Kart into this movie. We have the first instance of the Wahoo, which I wasn't 100%.
This might be the trailer that shows off the better Wahoo, but the first
Wahoo
I thought was. This isn't the trailer that this Wahoo showed up in though.
You're right. This is the updated Wahoo. Even the first Wahoo we heard, I was fine with. I wasn't 100% sold on Mario, on Chris Pratt for Mario, but I thought that it was a fine choice, but I wasn't sold on it until the Let's Go and the Wahoo especially sounded very Mario. So I was fine with it from there.
So the first Wahoo, I don't think it was a bad Wahoo.
Yeah.
I just think it wasn't No, I think the new one's much better, but I just think the first one just didn't fit the environment. Like it just was way too quiet of a Wahoo for like engines roaring and him was zipping down Rainbow Road. I'm just like, Wahoo! And I'm like, a little bit more energy, please.
Yeah, I was fine with it. I quite liked it, but yeah, the new one's great actually. The one in this trailer or this teaser or whatever TV spot.
Sure.
And that's it for the NBA All-Stars weekend clips, at the very least. Next we have, I don't know if this came slightly before actually, but we have the Super Bowl weekend.
This came after the trailer, the first trailer, but
yeah,
because the Super Bowl came out in February and that wasn't that long ago.
Right, I meant after the NBA weekend deal.
Okay.
Yeah.
I love everything about this.
This is so fantastic.
Straight up from the cartoons.
I love this clip art that they used.
Yeah.
I think that I've seen this like Mario 3 or something.
It's similar.
I don't know if it's the same artwork.
That Mario 3 is roughly, and a little bit of Mario 2 is roughly where that sort of art style came in for Mario.
Yeah.
In fact, you can see it on the back of the NES. That was kind of the way Mario kind of looked, is that art style.
Yeah, exactly.
This whole commercial is fantastic. It's straight from the cartoons, or the show, the Super Mario Brothers Super Show from way back when.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, it is. Did you not know that?
No, I didn't. I thought they just made this up.
No, this is verbatim from the Super Mario Brothers Super Show. That is their opening.
Oh, that's awesome. I have no clue.
It's tone to tone. Like everything about it is the same except for the lady that speaks in the commercial.
Yeah, she's a little bit more awkward, I think, on purpose.
Yeah. But it's from the 80s.
Wow, that's awesome. They're in Queens. They're just all throughout Wait, hang on. So this isn't New Donk City then. This is New York.
No, it's Brooklyn. It's straight up Brooklyn.
Brooklyn to Queens. And I'm assuming this is a somewhat accurate map.
Hopefully.
I also like the very awkward, like, the truck didn't quite go where it needed to, so Luigi fixed it.
Yeah, I like that it feels family owned because there's like the little errors.
This is fantastic, and it is family owned. The Mario and Luigi are brothers. They're part of the Mario family. And I like how awkward she is, where she's clearly reading off the line here.
The teleprompter.
This is just fantastic.
And I love it. I love everything about it. And they do have little Easter eggs at the end with you can call their number and they will pick up the phone, or they will pretend to pick up the phone.
Yeah.
And then they'll be like, "We're too busy, blah 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 blah. Leave another number," or if they like leave a text or something, and eventually if you follow the chain, they'll send you the link to their website because they can't talk to you.
Great. I like
and then you go to their website, and it's a joy to go through.
It's almost ARG like. I also like how just early 2000s infomercial this is. Like this shot in particular is just so lame. And then the circle wipe into exactly what you're talking about. SMBplumbing.com.
Oh man. I don't want to say too much about it because I think people should just look it up for themselves, but it's fun. They have a bunch of references.
We'll save that for the end. We'll go over the website at the end, I think. For those who really care about the spoilers, but I mean, you're watching an everything you know video. That's something. Next, we'll show off there was the Smash TV spot, not to be confused with Smash Brothers, but this is the Smash.
But this is somewhat inspired from Smash Brothers. I can't imagine this like little fight arena in the way like Mario's opening shot at DK is his forward air in Smash Brothers.
Oh, is it?
It's his forward air, just the way that he like look up his forward air and look at the posing. It's the same.
Interesting.
So pause
this
it
right here.
Yeah, pause it. Right. Yeah, right there. Back up. Yeah, like that. Now go look up an image of Mario's forward air on Google.
You know what? I will.
Yes.
That's fantastic.
I love Smash Brothers.
Oh yeah.
It's straight up. Yeah. They even have it on the left. Somebody posted it forward air. It's about the Mario movie. Right there. Left.
What?
Up.
Oh, right here?
It's yeah. So they're already like comparing it. Of like it is fairly similar. And that's Melee's other games, they do something similar, but it's yeah.
That's right on the dot. Good job. Wow. That's
super cool. I don't miss anything when it comes to Mario.
That's fantastic. No, that's super cool. Wow, that's great. And then Donkey Kong does not care. Look at how boring.
And Donkey Kong traditionally has awesome grab games, so of course he's going to do this.
Oh, naturally, yeah. And even Super Mario Bros, like as much as it is a celebration of Nintendo as a whole, the name itself doesn't lie. Super Smash Bros. Just like Super Mario Bros.
It's straight up from Mario Brothers, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And even the first character to appear on the roster is Mario, and Mario has more representation than anything else. Fire Emblem's close. Actually, Fire Emblem might have beaten Mario now, but
no, it's still Mario.
Still Mario.
That's because we're being generous with what Mario means. So Mario
includes
Donkey
Wario. Kong and stuff.
It includes Donkey Kong.
Wario,
it includes Kong. Yoshi.
Yeah.
It includes
that's all Mario as far as I'm concerned.
And if you include all the different Koopalings as their own character.
Oh yeah, then definitely like far over the limit with the Koopalings, yeah. And then we'll continue.
Oh, just getting absolutely trounced.
And then we have to your point, Cranky Kong, who looks kind of like the ruler or something of this like
it looks like a Roman ruler.
Yeah, like Mesoamerican inspired, which like I think this is clearly Mesoamerican. It's kind of strange because I don't know if I know that South America does have some monkeys, but I think for the most part the great apes are all in Africa. So I'm
Africa, and I thought a little bit of Asia.
Yeah, a little bit of Asia, I think too. Like the rainforests and stuff. So I'm a little confused about the geography aspect of this, but clearly we're out of New York, so all bets off at this point, I guess.
Well, it's it's Donkey Kong Country. I guess they
True.
got their own rules.
Fair enough. Yeah, the Kongs are just flying off the seat of their pants, as it were. A Cranky Kong, some kind of leader or something. There's a bunch of other like Kongs in the distance. I don't know if we see too many other Kongs in the Donkey
I think
Kong
somebody
Country games.
pointed out and zoomed in. I think you actually do see Diddy and like
Daisy or
a couple
something?
others that you
Not Daisy.
Daisy. No, there's Dixie.
Dixie. That's the one.
Dixie Kong, Baby Kong, Candy Kong. There's that cool Kong, Funky Kong.
Funky, okay. Like probably in this shot has the most.
Yeah, cool. I would not be surprised if you might be able to see some things in the background, but
I'm not as familiar with the Kongs. All I know is that Donkey Kong was the original member of the DK crew.
He's the first member of the DK crew.
And that's all you need to know. And there's a lot of Seth Rogen talking.
Yeah. For better or for worse, we'll have to see.
For better or for worse, yeah. Maybe they'll fix that.
I'm hopeful. I am hopeful. At the very least, it's
with
not
everybody
bad.
else. I think I can forgive one of them not being not so good.
Yeah, exactly. And then we have I'm not 100% sure what this is from. It says this is from the World Cup. Okay, I thought something to do with soccer. But Luigi, he's running away from a dry bones, which presumably dry bones are going to be in the show then, which makes sense because there's a desert.
No, it is. In the first, in one of the trailers, it shows Luigi running in a very like Luigi's Mansion-esque scene because they just throw Luigi in the scary scenes because it's Luigi and it makes sense.
That makes sense, yeah. And then we have this Happy Meal commercial.
I like it.
Yes.
This is the sort of thing that I would have loved to have seen as a child.
Yeah, true.
And I also want that mustache. That would also be something I want.
You want that mustache for sure.
Not the toy, the mustache.
Just the mustache. The toy looked pretty sweet too, actually.
The toy didn't look bad. It looked like some quality was put into a toy, which, not every toy was created equal. So This is this is the movie clip. Okay, so this is that just them going through the markets,
Kingdom.
the toads, and all these, almost everything you see there is inspired from a game.
Really?
I kind of forget, like that just seems like a coin block just spits out multiple coins. I don't know which game specifically that may or may not be from.
This is some kind of job or something.
It just looks like they have infinite money, but you have to like expend your energy in order to actually get the money, or it's a bank.
Yeah, this looks like an ATM or something of that sort.
Yeah.
I think that's funny that they're kind of growing that aspect of it a little bit. Yeah.
You actually see some shops, like in some of those spots, right? Well,
should I back up?
No, don't back up. You see some of the blocks, which kind of remind me from like Mario Party. I'm not sure if they are from Mario Party or not, but it looks like they belong in Mario Party.
Yeah, they don't ring a bell in Mario Party in particular, but they're probably some kind of reference.
Yeah, it's definitely a reference.
Oh, they're
so that's from
too.
Odyssey. That's from Odyssey.
This castle?
No, on the left side there's the cap.
The cafe?
Yeah, it's not. I don't think it's a cafe. It's something cap. So it's the shop that you go through in Odyssey.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I remember now.
Yep.
Also, I want to point out that yellow block changed from this crossbow-looking shape to a tower, like a rook or something, like kind of shape. So these are changing, at least. I don't know what that means, but cool enough.
If that crossbow means Link's crossbow training and we go to Hyrule for that.
Oh, the Hyrule Kingdom? That'd be sweet.
Yeah, that'd be so cool.
Then the cap. So that's actually pretty cool that you
that's from Odyssey.
That out. That's super cool.
And there's gonna be shops coming up here that are from like the Mario and Luigi games and the Paper Mario games.
Oh.
Like that shop.
Antiques.
I don't know if it's necessarily antiques, but what they're selling in there, you get from a lot of the like like Mario Brothers 3 has a shop that you go into, which I think is actually the those chests that you see there. That's from Mario Brothers 3.
Mm-hmm.
And then just some of the random knickknacks and items are just miscellaneous stuff. I just noticed in the case. It's the Yoshi coin from Mario World. No,
this?
There. Oh, Super Mario World. Oh, that's so cool.
Wow.
Oh, nice I'm flipping out. Oh, I just saw that and I'm like, my childhood.
It looks exactly like pixel by pixel.
Yeah, I know.
Too.
It's fantastic. I love it.
Wow. And
it's a small flip out on camera or on voice for me then.
You have these bells too, and then I think this is the Hammer Bros hammer. Like
that's the Hammer Bros hammer. The one right next to the bell is the keys, I believe, from Mario Brothers 2.
Oh yeah, I was trying to figure out what that was. Yeah.
As well as the potions from Mario Brothers 2 are actually right next to the left of the green toad.
Oh,
that's inside the shop.
Yeah. I see what
you're as well about. As a few other things too.
These music
like a lot of that stuff actually is from
this cloud
Mario Brothers 3.
Yeah,
those are all from Mario Bros. 3.
A lot of attention went into this, man. Some kind of construction site.
Mm-hmm. It's just fun antics. So this is like it's clearly a Mario that hasn't learned that he's Jumpman yet.
Yeah, this clearly he's not super great at it. And this is probably pretty early on in the movie too, I would imagine.
Yeah.
Just for spoiler reasons, but also like they wouldn't show anything from late in the movie. But also this feels pretty appropriate. Like this is shortly after Toad found him.
Mm-hmm. I like that they're incorporating all the platforming into just like natively into the world. Like at first I was wondering, I was like, oh, that would make no sense just to have random platforms everywhere. And I'm like,
but it doesn't.
Does it have to make sense?
Yeah,
it's
it's
a Mario movie.
Yeah, and I like how it's a straight line too, just like it would be in a 2D Mario game. That this makes even less sense when you consider that it's a 2D Mario game. But like, yeah, this is exactly the way that it would appear in a 2D Mario game. And because it's a 3D movie, Mario's like, oh no, it's not well.
Oh, what the hell? What's happening?
That was really creative.
Those are obviously from like
3D
Mario,
World, right?
Mario 3D World.
Yeah. His first encounter with a pipe.
No, this is technically his second.
Oh, true. Yeah. At least as far as we know, we don't know the timeline quite yet, but this is at least his second.
Oh, I like how it comes out green for some reason. Why is it green?
I don't know.
And then Princess Peach's castle looking so cool, looking dope, straight from Mario 64.
Yeah, I was gonna say it looks a lot like Mario 64, down to the portrait of Princess Peach.
Yeah, stained glass. I mean the courtyard itself, not so much Mario 64, but like it looks more like Mario Galaxy.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I like the detail with having the little mushroom heads here too, with little crowns on them.
I will straight up lose my mind if there's like a little Easter egg where Yoshi's on top of the castle for some reason.
Oh, that would be great.
I would love
that
it.
would be fantastic. Okay, so that was the Mario clips. That was from the Game Awards, actually.
Yeah.
This next one I think is also from the Game Awards.
See, this is a cool shot. This kind of reminds me of the Mario, like the original Mario movie. Like when I say original, I mean the one from the 80s, just because they were plumbers and they went into a lot of dark
live
zones
action.
And pipes.
Yeah. That horrible one.
Yeah.
And I like how they're plumbers, and
they're quite clearly plumbers,
and they're going through this like pipe type deal, which also pipes Super Mario, like very, very Mario themed.
This is underneath New York City doing something.
Presumably, yeah. And I wouldn't be surprised if this is how Mario ends up in the Mushroom Kingdom.
I think it's more than that. They straight up show you.
Oh,
let it roll and they'll tell you.
Oh, you're totally right. Oh, and then he loses Luigi and everything. Yeah.
And Luigi goes to World 8 from what it looks like.
Yeah, and this is like very much, it's kind of hard to tell, but this is
Bowser's Kingdom.
This is Bowser's Kingdom, and this is totally a warp pipe. Just all corrupted like. Yeah, definitely. And yeah, he ends up here. That's
some of the enemies. I don't know the name of it, but those are enemies from Mario. I don't even remember what games they come from. It's probably from the new Super Mario Brothers games, to be honest.
Probably. It looks similar to a Wiggler, but I don't know if it's a Wiggler.
No, it's not Wiggler.
This reminds me of the Odyssey from Super Mario Odyssey. I don't think that it is, but like I think that it's meant to invoke the same deal with this hot air balloon, like airship kind of deal, going into Bowser's Kingdom. Presumably to save
Look at the
Luigi.
Shy Guys. Oh, it's so good. It's so cool.
Let's back up. Yeah, this one's wearing a different
I forget
mask.
what the front one. That's actually from. I think that's from the Mario Brothers 2, but it has a different name. It's like a gun guy or something, or cannon guy. It spits stuff out of his mouth.
That's super cool that they're like putting in clearly like the higher ranking type of Shy Guy is the one that's carrying Luigi. I think that there's a lot of subtle details here that I think is great. Also some statues of presumably Bowser in the background. Maybe some of the Koopa kids or something like that. Toad talking. Luigi's beating Bowser.
Again, when I think of villains, I think of presence, and there's nothing that screams presence more than just like that couple frames ago, that shot. Oh, look at that little smirk he has. Oh, I love it. That's good. That's good. He has the star already. It's right above him.
Because he has the first star at this point.
And they do a good job on those facial animations.
Yeah.
Bowser seems very expressive in this game. Or in this movie.
Yeah. How torturous is this? My gosh.
It does
a mustache hair. Oof.
Those upper lips are a little fine hairs.
Especially the one that's like right on the lip part at the lower part of the mustache. Yeah. Oof. That is meant to evoke some feelings.
It does. I wince.
We get some platforming with a bullet bill coming too.
They do a good job.
This is some kind of
forward air again. That is definitely forward air again.
Oh,
this time it works.
Yeah, actually he lands it.
And does the whole roll animation afterwards too. It's definitely a forward air. I'm geeking out over this. Unlike
in the first clip that we saw, where clearly DK was doing the shield grab. So this is, I think, clearly some kind of training sequence or something, right? Like he's becoming the Jumpman. Mario.
It's going to be like a montage of him just becoming competent in his newfound like jumping abilities that he's always had, and he just needed to believe in himself. You know, all the children's stuff.
And they'll play Eye of the Tiger in the meantime.
They might. Because I don't. I love Charlie Day as Luigi.
Yeah, that's one of the better ones.
He is. I don't know if he's better or not than Bowser, but I'll have to see the movie. But right now they're together.
Naturally, yeah. And then we have this trailer, the TV spot rather, down the pipe.
I don't know what slurp is.
I don't know.
See, there it is. They find the warp pipe here.
Oh, you're right. You're totally right. A lot of this stuff that we've seen before. There's a lot of repeats, but
yeah, there's going to be a lot of repeats.
Fighting a piranha plant.
Ground pound,
and fighting a piranha plant, which I quite like.
Which, depending on the game, you can jump on their head. There's also a Hammer Bro there, too.
Yeah.
Actually, they're all there. Oh, the Mushroom Kingdom got smacked.
There's a Koopa. There's all sorts of stuff going on here.
Oh, okay, this is going to be a little weird, but that's a variation of the ground pound he's doing, where in Mario Galaxy, if you twirled and ground pounded, you would do a ground stomp. It's just like kind of the animation that he's kind of looking like he's doing.
And he does totally twirl, too.
He twirls like in Mario 64, like a sideways. Oh, I'm noticing all these little things. It's fantastic.
That's why we're doing this. You have really good insight on this. And then he does a regular ground pound here. And he knocks over a bunch of Koopas.
Yeah.
And then I like how he's mainly jumping on the enemies too.
He's doing
he's not punching. He does some punches throughout the trailers. But like he
skips over Spiny.
This guy, he jumps, which makes it. This is how you play the original games. That's great.
Fantastic. It's pretty cool.
So this one is.
She's wearing her I think Mario Kart Wii outfit. It's actually pretty cool. I like it.
That's really cool. Maybe that bike is from something too.
I'm not sure. I actually don't know. I do know that the material that it's made of, like that middle section, is like the Mario Kart 64, like kind of like pipes that they use
Oh, yeah.
all the carts for. That's what it looks like.
Oh, that's super clever. Yeah. Also, Toad with his eyes closed looks horrendous.
It just looks like a mushroom.
He looks like one of the mushrooms that you would like pick up and eat.
Yeah.
But in any event, I think that this is cool, showing more action from Peach. Again, still not 100% sure how I feel about it, but at the very least, I'm willing to go on the journey that the movie is willing to show, and this definitely fits into that version of the character, the movie's version of the character. Action oriented.
More hands-on.
Yeah. Bowser showing up.
Doing his just absolutely godly fire breath.
And then this is some lore that has been added to.
Mhm.
So as far as I'm aware, and as far as most of the internet seems to be aware at least, the blue shells, the spiky blue shells from Mario Kart are not based on any existing enemy, unlike the green and red shells. Those are both existing enemies that we know about.
So there are blue-shelled Koopas, but not with the spikes.
Right, and I know that
And
there's the blue shell spiky guys, but those are not the same
Yeah.
thing. It's a Koopa shell in Mario Kart is what it's called.
Yeah. So interestingly enough, they added like the spiny blue shell in Mario Kart 64 did
Yeah.
not travel through the sky.
Okay.
It traveled on the ground.
Just like the other
um,
ones.
Yeah, just like the other ones, but it did do the same thing. It went through the entire track and hit first place.
Okay.
And then in Mario Kart's Double Dash, they added it so that it flew in the air. But the cool
Okay.
thing I noted is that partially, at least to me, the reason why they did that, they added that little thing because in Super Mario World, when a Yoshi ate and held onto a blue shell, it gave it the ability to fly.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
So I think I like to play that in my head, and that's the reason, like, at least lore-wise, that it was able to do that.
You're probably not too far off the mark, and I think that it's telling that when they introduced the first Koopa that we're aware of in Mario lore that has a spiky blue shell is a flying Koopa.
Mhm.
I don't think that that's an accident either. So anyways, that's just cool. That's a bit of lore that hasn't existed before until this movie. And it fits in pretty well to your point and to my point of the existing lore around the blue shell, with it being a flying shell and stuff like that. So I think that's super cool.
Now red shells also fly, but different.
Yeah, they like hover kind of.
Yeah.
And then the Mushroom Kingdom's clearly getting attacked. Peach is kind of rallying everyone. Clearly, Bowser is going after the Mushroom Kingdom's star or whatever, as it were.
Mm-hmm.
And then this part, the Toad says, like, but how can we fight back? We're so adorable. That is so frustratingly Illumination.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's straight up Illumination because I did not laugh.
Yeah,
I understand the movie's made for kids.
Yeah.
I get it. It might make some kids laugh, but
it's very marketable.
I get it.
And we're gonna see it anyways, but like,
I'm gonna see it anyway, and I'm probably gonna see it multiple times
because everyone knows that's why they did it. It's for the kids, right? So like, you can brush.
Well, it's for the kids, and also coincides with the launch of Super Nintendo World. So
right,
no coincidences here.
Absolutely not. You mean Universal Studios? Universal Studios, also a shareholder, I believe, in Illumination.
Yeah,
I don't think that
no
any of
coincidences here.
So there's something to do with Illumination. I know
there's some deal, some contract they all signed,
and I just feel like this is very, very Minions. This is so, I don't know. I'm fine with it. Whatever, I get it.
At least they're not just constantly screaming in Toad's voice. I at the very least, they restrain themselves.
I think that'd be fun.
Because they could have definitely... No, we have the Minions. We don't need a bunch of Toads screaming. in the Toad voice.
In the background of the scene.
Mario. But we're so cute. We're just so cute.
One thing to note, I quite like how they are making a lot of the Toads seem very visually distinct. Something that I like in the Mario lore is that there are different Toads. So like there's Captain Toad, there's Toadsworth, there's a bunch of different Toads. And not all of them have the classic like red hat, because I guess those are hats. So like they're not their heads, these are just hats or something, I guess. So something that I like is that these three characters here seem pretty distinct. Like they're wearing unique clothing items compared to the ones in the background, which are wearing more generic Toad attire. This one's got glasses on. This was probably going to be like an actual character. This one has some kind of yellow shirt on that's not like the like
buttoned up his shirt.
Yeah, it's not like these like these kind of vest deals. And then this one's wearing like suspenders and a little bow tie. I quite like this guy's attire. So like, you know, I think that it's cool that they're adding Toads that are more than just generic Toads. They're actual unique looking, at least, characters, and probably have different like why would you put in like the green Toad with the glasses if he was not going to be the smart one, you know? Or the wise one or something along those lines. So I think that each of them are probably going to have pretty unique personalities as well.
This is probably like her council of Toads that she like makes war decisions or whatever on. Maybe not war, but just like generic decisions for like the kingdom.
Something along those lines, yeah. Some more Mario Kart scenes.
Ooh.
I think that was the original Wahoo, if I remember correctly. Also, I don't know if this reminds me a little bit of Skylanders Superchargers. I don't know if that was the intention.
DK and Bowser were in that game.
They were. This reminds me of Skylanders Superchargers at the very least. And I don't know if that was entirely the intention, but it's clearly like just like some kind of Mario racing deal, like Mario Kart type deal. Shooting the green shell, of course, which collides with, I don't know if that is Mario, really. But no, I think cut is trying to imply that it is.
Yeah.
That's probably just some creative cut work there. Some creative editing.
Yeah.
Hang on. He does the twirl into the stomp.
It's fun.
Like you mentioned.
It's fun.
Just like you mentioned.
I like okay, so I like that the shell like decreases to like make it so that he can actually hold on to it, like the actual shell body.
Yeah, grabbable size.
Yeah.
And then it's Mario Kart. And then he has a shell item now. I think that's cool.
It's fun. Also, like his car just dies.
Yeah.
Like he loses his car.
And I think he does it a few times because in this clip he's no, that's the same car. That's his starting car.
Mm-hmm.
They've shown like 3 different cars that we're meant to believe at least that Mario is driving.
Yeah.
He has some bullet bills aimed at him. This is kind of
That's so cool. That's so cool.
Really smart placement. Peach and really
Mario.
proud of him, of all that he's accomplished. So we have this, which is the Luigi's Mansion TV spot.
So correct me if I'm wrong, but Nintendo first used the D-pad in their games, right? But they didn't patent it.
Oh, I forget some of the history there. I
From
think
what
that they
I
did patent
understood,
it.
I thought they didn't because other people were able, or they did, but other people were able to get around it.
They were able to get, like Sony, for example, was able to get around it because they wanted a similar button pressing mechanism, but they wanted it. But their way of getting around that patent was to not have it one single piece of plastic. So if you look at the original PlayStation controller and all subsequent PlayStation controllers up to the DualSense, I have a DualSense controller right in front of me, yeah. Even that has a separated D-pad. The buttons are 4 separate buttons instead of one single molded piece of plastic. The Xbox got around that by having one single piece of plastic, but different button pressing mechanisms.
It was kind of like a joystick in of itself, the way it kind of rounded.
I'm talking about the original Xbox.
Oh,
because we're talking about when that patent was still in place. So in
that's
the
true. The new one's kind of a rounded-ish.
Yeah. So the original Xbox, they had a different button pressing mechanism on the inside, and that's why it got around the patent also. And I forget, there was some stuff with the Genesis too, and each of the consoles kind of found different ways to get around it. But yeah, I think that Nintendo did in fact patent the D-pad, and they continued using the same mechanism up until the GBA or maybe DS, and then they changed it slightly for, I believe it was the DS onward. It might have been the DSi or 3DS technically, but something around that era. But anyways, yeah, this is the original like NES D-pad, and I like how it's the plus Nintendo Plus illumination.
It's just crafty. It's clever. I love it. It visually it gets me going.
Yeah, that's fantastic. They're being plumbers, of course. He notices the warp pipe.
The more and more I watch this, the more and more I'm okay with the whole real world. Even though it's not really the real world, it's like the illumination.
An animated real world.
Yeah, animated New York, and like that is technically part of the Mario character lore. I love the fact that they chose Luigi to like be represented as though it's like Luigi's Mansion and scary, and like him holding the flashlight and just kind of like
very
just
shaky.
like it. Yeah,
the dry bones naturally, and then he is running towards mansion. Or wait,
no, it's not a mansion. It's a castle.
Oh, that's Bowser's castle.
No, it's not Bowser's castle. It's a generic castle from the original Mario games. See the flag on top?
Oh, you're right. Yeah.
At the very end of each of the Mario games, you seize a castle that Bowser took over.
Oh, that's clever.
So I saw that. I'm just like, oh, that's so exciting. That's so cool.
That's clever. But yeah, it is very themed, at least, Luigi's Mansion.
Yep.
Very, very good.
Very good. Very good voice acting. Very good animation. Very good. Like I say landscaping, but it's more like little Easter egg, like the castle being one of those original castles.
Yeah, I'm kind of excited to hear Charlie Day. I'm excited to see everyone's takes on the characters after they've done their they've gone back in the studio and re-recorded their lines. I'm excited to see Chris Pratt's new take compared to the original take that we saw in like the first few trailers.
Yeah, it was a little bit more softer in the first trailers.
Yeah, a bit more like Chris Pratt, whereas I think it sounds at least a bit more tending towards Mario in a lot of the more recent stuff. And I'm excited to see Charlie Day. I'm really excited to see Jack Black. I'm cautiously optimistic for Seth Rogen and Anya Taylor-Joy and all the others. I'm really curious to see Charles Martinet's involvement.
I know what's going to happen. I'm calling it, and you can quote me for this one because I've been right for a lot of things in this podcast.
You have so far, yeah.
It's gonna open with a shot of Mario doing work on a pipe. He's gonna come up and he's gonna have Charles Martinet's voice for a second before he coughs, and then it's Chris Pratt.
Yeah, like he'll cough or clear his throat or something.
Yeah,
like
it'll clear his voice. He's gonna be like, "Oh, what was that about?" And it's gonna be Chris Pratt. It's gonna be like Luigi coming in the door. It's like, "Hey, bro," and then it's gonna be like, "Luigi, hey, bro." It's gonna change.
He'll be like, "Who's there? It's a me, a Mario. It's a Mario."
Yeah, it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen.
Wow, that I wouldn't be mad at that. I would not be mad at that at all.
No, I wouldn't be either, but I'm calling it.
That'd be pretty sweet.
I'm calling it.
So we have the final trailer. So this was in the most recent Direct, I believe.
Mm-hmm. The 3/9, yeah, this was not too long ago.
Yeah, that was earlier this month.
There's a whole Direct just for a trailer for the movie. Nice.
He's wearing the Super Mario movie shirt. I really like that jacket. I want that jacket.
Yeah, I was actually going to take notes. I'm like, that is a nice jacket. And that's not like a normal suit jacket either. That's like a going out keeping me warm jacket too. Like I'm looking at it and it feels like that's the kind of material it is.
Miyamoto is the master of wearing like suits or suit shirts over a regular t-shirt. If you notice, like, throughout history, I've noticed this years ago. And ever since then, he's done the exact same thing. When they announced Pikmin 4, he was wearing the brand new Pikmin 4 t-shirt. I have that same t-shirt, actually. He was wearing that t-shirt with a blazer on it. Like, he's the master of this style, actually. He wears it really well. And that jacket, man. And it was
aggressively casual business. It's not business casual, it's casual business.
That's a great way to describe it. So yeah, I guess this is Mario Day.
It was May 10th? Yeah.
March 10th,
yeah. Sorry.
I guess it was March 9th technically, but I don't know.
I think they did it like right before in celebration.
Oh, gotcha.
That would have been a missed opportunity if they could have made that deadline to make it March 10th to have been the opening day for the Mario movie. That would have been great.
That would be pretty cool. March 10th is on a Friday too. I'm surprised that they didn't do that.
Yeah. April 5th is when this movie is, right?
April 5th or 4th. Something along those lines, yeah.
I think it's April 5th. That's a Wednesday. That's an awkward time.
I think technically it comes out on the 7th, but there's a lot of theaters doing it a few days early.
Okay. I like the little mushroom, and I really like the question block on the bottom right.
Yeah.
I like the casual flex with the trophies. I think, what are those, Grammys or Emmys, or what do they give them?
I don't even know. Something like that.
Oh,
here's
look at them all.
The cast. Okay, something that I like about this shot, I think something that really bothers me about voice acting, especially when it comes to having actors do voice acting instead of voice actors. I know there's a lot of discussion, a lot of voice actors, some don't care, but then some seem to care that regular actors are taking voice acting jobs. There's a lot of discussion about that going right now, in particular, ever since the Sonic movie. But something that really bothers me about voice directing in that sense is that they won't necessarily have all of the actors in the studio at the same time. They're not feeding the lines off of each other. And if you don't have a great voice director, that ends up not being... It ends up with very mixed results. See Bravely Default and a lot of other games, where you can kind of tell that those actors were not in the same room when they were recording those lines. And I think I assume that they got all of these actors together in the same room to record the lines. At least
I hope so.
I don't know. This shot, for some reason, just made me think about that. And they seem pretty cordial with each other, so I would assume that they probably have at least discussed their takes on the characters with each other and are going about it in a smart way. Or maybe, hopefully, that they just have a really good voice director. We'll have to see. But as long as it's handled well enough, I don't mind either way.
Yeah, and I think it's always fun to have like that little bit of back and forth with your characters.
Yeah.
At least if you know what you're doing.
Especially with a bunch of comedy actors that we see right now.
Yeah, that is true. That is
primarily
true.
Comedy. Very different
Chris
kinds
Pratt,
of comedy too.
I think out of all of them, Chris Pratt's probably the least of the comedy centric stuff, but I mean, it's still Marvel. It's really weird because
he was in a bunch of like a Parks and Rec and stuff too. And
oh, that's right. All right, I take that back. I was about to make a point that
even Guardians of the Galaxy is basically the comedy movies of Marvel.
Yeah, but like, I'll be honest, almost all the Marvel movies are comedy movies.
True,
almost.
Fair enough. Yeah, I just like Guardians of the Galaxy and maybe the Thor movies are like the most comedy of them.
That's really weird too, because when Guardians of the Galaxy first came out, that was when it was more comedic, and that's when Thor was not. Thor took itself seriously.
Interestingly, yeah. So they're talking with each other. We can skip past most of this. These are two actors which I would not expect to see on screen together.
No.
But here we go. We have Anya Taylor-Joy and Jack Black.
She looks like Peach a little bit.
I can see it. She kind of looks like a punk looking Peach in this.
Yeah. And then Also, like, if I imagine like Bowser with a beard, it would be like Jack Black's beard, just like different coloring though.
Oh yeah, 100%. His kind of like aggressive attitude too, aggressively fun and aggressively kind and stuff like that. But I guess Jack Black would
Aggressively
also,
upbeat.
yeah, and maybe that's perfect actually for an Illumination made Mario movie. But also, he does a really good job of just creating with his natural energy, creating a more sinister take on Bowser, which we just talked about earlier. Talking a bit more, then we finally see the final trailer. This, I think, probably takes place shortly after Luigi wandered into that Bowser's castle with the flag on it.
Probably after he was tortured.
Yeah. The penguins, of course. This is the Stargeist.
That's a Luma, I think.
Luma, yeah.
I could
Galaxy?
be wrong. Yeah, I could be wrong. Which, if it is a Luma, then that has like some that has some implications.
Yeah.
Because like Lumas are all basically like Rosalina's babies.
Mm-hmm.
And I wonder if she'll play a part in any of this.
That'd be interesting. Maybe as like a teaser for the second movie or something like that.
Okay, so I really want, this is not necessarily a tangent, but after the end, if and I think they will, if they make another Mario movie, I really, really, really want the next main bad guy to be Wario.
Ooh, that'd be cool.
I would love Wario to be a main bad guy.
That'd be super cool. We get the penguins. He's just talking to all of the people around him. That have gotten captured
the little blue thing is like saying everyone's gonna die and being creepy about it.
Fun. We have some kind of, they're celebrating because they...
Oh, look how excited Kamek is.
Look how excited...
It's just like old man Kamek.
Look how excited Bowser is. Jack Black is the perfect person to play this character.
Yeah, it's great.
He even kind of has a very Jack Black smile, too.
Mm-hmm.
Hang on.
Isn't that like an animation thing where you try to make the characters somewhat match the voice actor?
Yeah, they probably had some kind of facial rigging going on. I feel like that'd be very complicated for these more cartoony kind of characters, probably especially for Bowser. But I also wouldn't be surprised if they had like attached some like tracking dots to his beard or something for the roundness of his mouth.
It's just so good.
It looks so very good. Jack Black, actually.
He has like a lot of facial like I love the facial features of all the characters. They're doing a good job here.
It's Illumination. We see the flying guy again. Is this a reference? This
I think those are just characters that they got for the.
Okay.
I like the little one nomming on his buddy's head. Yeah, it's funny.
I think that a lot of people aren't necessarily aware that the Koopas are chestnuts and not mushrooms, but I'm glad that this makes them look more chestnut-like.
Mm-hmm.
They look more like, just the texture around them looks more like a chestnut as opposed to mushroom, which is what they're based on. They're based on chestnuts, so that makes sense. Little spiky guys.
In the trailer, he's saying that he doesn't know their names, which is really weird. He's like, the Koopas, the Goombas, and those things. And they're like, oh. and I'm like, how do you not know what spinies are? like it's in the name. They got spiny shells.
Yeah, it's pretty straightforward, Bowser.
It's like, you have a spiny shell.
You're the King Koopa. Shouldn't you be aware of all the Koopa types? They're off to war. They're showing some kind of secret something. This shot reminds me a lot of, I know you haven't seen Game of Thrones, but in one of the seasons of Game of Thrones, there's a kingdom called the Vale, and they're on top of a large mountain, and the castle is over a cliff, and there's a big opening in the middle of like the main like castle floor that opens up. They call it the moon door, and to punish people, to like basically execute people, they push people down the moon door to like fall to their deaths.
Mm-hmm.
This reminds me of the moon door. I think that there's probably some kind of like she's walking to her
That's probably the car.
The car, or she's on a motorcycle, something along those lines. Most likely.
Oh my god. Oh, back up.
Okay.
Back up.
Hang on. I'm getting there.
Are those pictures on the wall?
These? Are these?
No, down. Yes. Are those? I don't know if I recognize any of them. Are there any Mario 64 ones? I can't see. It's. I don't know.
This one looks familiar.
It looks familiar, but I don't know if that's like a. I don't know what it's too far away. I just like I just noticed it and I was like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna be doing this the whole time in the movie. I'm not gonna sit still.
No, that's gonna be great. That's gonna be perfect. You should bring a notepad or something when we see it for the first time. Just jot down all your notes.
No, because then I'd have to look down.
Oh, you're right. Wait, hang on.
There's a lot of quick shots.
Hang on. There's one thing. This is cool.
I like that.
I really like the Fire Princess Peach. This
Mm-hmm.
I don't know
so
if this
cool.
is from anything.
It's from Mario 64.
This canon?
Mario 64, yeah.
With the blue thing and everything?
Yep.
Okay.
Even that's in Mario 64.
So cool.
In fact, what is that thing? And back it up. The thing that's floating in the sky. What is that?
This island?
Yeah, there's like a rock on top of it, but it reminds me of a thwomp, but it doesn't look quite squarish enough. It's either a thwomp or a womp. I think it's a womp.
I think it's one of these blue trees that's kind of poorly rendered.
Maybe.
There's a few floating islands in some of the previous trailers too.
Yeah.
Some shots that we've seen before. Oh,
yeah, see right here. Yeah, this. Yeah. Yep. Oh, Mario got big.
Wait, he just ate the mushroom.
There was a mushroom? I didn't even notice. I was just too focused on the fire flower.
Yeah.
Oh, he pulls it out? Hold on.
No.
I want to see that whole scene
has
again.
a mushroom.
No, I want to see the whole scene again. Back up.
Okay. We're getting there.
He already had one. Oh, okay.
Look at the teamwork here.
Yeah.
So Donkey Kong ends up on Mario's side. He kicks it, which does not count as opening it, I guess. He kicks it, which this animation reminds me of Mario 64 too.
Yeah, it's his third hit in Mario 64.
DK punches it.
So cool.
Fire DK. Super Mario.
Yeah, I didn't even notice that he did that.
And then platforming.
That's so cool.
And then he's doing some... Donkey Kong is doing some moves from Donkey Kong Country. The spinning animation.
Yeah, this is so cool.
From Donkey Kong Country games.
That's so fun.
And then, okay, also, in Donkey Kong Country, Donkey Kong jumps between the different, like, the background and the foreground and the he jumps between the different layers. And Mario is the one that's staying straight. He's taking a straight line.
Oh, yeah, you're right. That's a good thing to notice.
DK is jumping from, like, the background to the foreground. That's super cool.
Also, when Mario speeds up at the beginning of that scene, that's Mario Brothers 3. When he gains enough speed, he plants his hands out.
It's very Sonic the Hedgehog, actually.
It's very Sonic the Hedgehog, but it's also for Mario. Like, that's his, like, I'm about to fly speed.
Oh, you're right. I remember that, yeah. Oh, that's cool.
Oh.
These little details, so cool. Man.
I love it. Even this is from Mario Kart.
Yeah.
It's the 3 zones that you build your kart from.
I like all the little details here. Oh my gosh. So much care and attention went into this. Yeah, the 3 zones. You're making the karts.
It looks so nice and Rainbow Road is straight up. It's gonna be for the plot anyway. It's gonna be what connects all the worlds outside of the warp pipes. Is what that's gonna be. I feel like that's what that's going to be. Hey, look, the car's just dead. And I feel so sad.
I like these extended shots of some stuff that we've seen before too.
Yeah. Brings to context a lot of things.
Oh man. There's something at the end. Miyamoto talking. Who are these guys? The directors?
Directors.
Okay.
Well, my friends, you seem to be doing a pretty good job. I look forward to the game. Or movie. Wrong castle again. Oh,
yeah, this guy's a Mario fan.
I know. Even on the Rainbow Road, there's some Rainbow Road renditions of where they have the rainbow circles kind of going through the map. Like you can kind of see it. I
saw it.
I forget which ones
somewhere
have that, but
here.
like
here.
A little bit, yeah. So right there, yeah, that's one. There's a better shot up ahead where it shows like multiple of them. But like there's some Rainbow Road maps that kind of do that. It's cool.
That's cool, yeah. A lot of effort went into this. A lot of the little things.
There's so much of the little things. See that's cool. That's a cool shot of the Rainbow Road.
Mm-hmm.
So cool.
And then
I think that was it.
He showed Mario's shoes. He was talking about Mario's shoes for a second, and we'll get into the shoes in just a little bit because there's more that we know about the movie than just what the trailers have shown us so far.
Yeah, it made its way into the real world.
Yeah, for better or for worse. A couple more video adjacent things. There were some billboards, I guess, since we're trying to make this as comprehensive as reasonably possible.
We're not going to come back and revisit this because then the movie will be out.
Yeah, exactly. So there is some billboards in New York City, which shows mainly some stuff that we've seen before, but some stuff that we haven't.
Yeah, Cranky Kong looks good.
Cranky Kong.
That
bullet bill.
I like the bullet bill. Yeah, I think it's going. Yeah, it's going around Peach's castle. Okay, so also another weird tangent. It gives me Smash Brothers Melee vibes. In Melee, a bullet bill hits the castle as part of the stage, hazards as part of a stage hazard. So it just kind of gives me. Oh, and she's doing her little floaty thing like she does in Mario Bros. 2 and all the games. That's cool.
I think that this is probably her showing Mario around that training course that they were doing. Toad freaking out. I like the smashing the barrels together. Super intimidating. This looks super metal. I really like this shot of Luigi. Cranky Kong. Yeah, just this small little thing. There is a billboard, but it showed some unique.
It showed some things that I got excited about. Oh, here, this one's cool too. I saw this one.
Yeah, so this is one of those 3D billboard things that they have in New York now, in like Japan and stuff. I think that was it. Cool. He was just riding that.
A good old reminder.
Yeah. So we have this as like sort of a display of the change that one of the changes that they made. They removed one of the lines from Mario where he says, "What is this place?" The source is Game Explain.
Yeah. And I can't hear it on my end, but I think everybody kind of gets the idea. He's keeping his mouth shut the entire time, but like the animation's still like playing through. And even the lighting looks to change a little bit. Like he's looking a little pinker in the new one. A little bit more color.
Lighting work, I think, to make the lighting a bit softer. A little bit more natural.
So what do you think?
Yeah, they definitely touched that.
So we have the Mario's Wahoo changed. This is also from Game Explain.
Mm-hmm. They do pretty good jobs on this.
That's really it.
Yep. Yep.
All there is to say about that. A couple of other things. They released this movie poster, which is super cool. I think this is actually the first appearance of the flying spiny blue shell guys was this poster. But it's showing a lot of the main characters, at least. It's showing like this guy who I'm assuming everyone else here is a main character. We have the at least main Toad that Mario is talking to, Peach, Donkey Kong, the brothers, Kamek, who's a main character in this apparently, and Bowser, of course. So this guy must be somewhere in the main cast.
I feel like he's probably gonna be like one of the generals, because he showed off both that guy and like the Koopa without it that was missing an eye. Yeah, and they showed him off a few different times, so I feel like they're gonna be just like one of the stronger enemies that kind of lead the army.
It's just interesting that these are all characters, aside from maybe this specific Toad, that we've met before, just throughout the history of Mario as a franchise. But then this character is one of the ones that they want to prop up right next to Mario as a main character. I think is interesting and maybe telling about what that character is going to be. As a brand new, like that's something that they added to the lore too.
I'm not against him.
So we have this. It looks like they recreated the van from the Mario like TV spot.
Oh, that's so cool.
Which is super cool. This is fun. In New York. This is right in front of the Nintendo World store in New York.
Mm-hmm.
Trying not to hit pedestrians.
This is also Game Explain as well?
Yeah, the source here is Game Explain, yeah.
Okay. They're doing a good job on that. That's I if I were a kid again, I would love to have seen all this.
Yeah.
I mean, I love to see it right now, so.
Yeah, true, fair enough.
And I like how they have pipes on the top. PVC pipes.
Yeah. Oh, Luigi's on the other side.
Oh, that's cool. Okay, that's good.
Yeah, the Mario Bros.
I love Mario. I also love Luigi just as much. I normally choose Luigi whenever I get the chance to choose him.
They have the smbplumbing.com link, the phone number, which you can call. And I like that the license plate is Mario Bro in pseudo elite speak.
Yep.
I think that's really fun. And then they unveiled... I don't know why they did this. This is such a weird... Out of all of the things they could have done.
Well, I guess he is Jumpman, so...
Yeah, of all the things, then why not? I suppose they're doing a terrible job of unveiling this. I know that like when they pull the curtain, it doesn't work.
Just the suspense.
They show off Mario's shoes. Of all things. I guess that's like somewhat life-size too, to how his feet would be compared to like a regular cartoon human being. Yeah. Like in real world height or something. Mario's canon height or something like that. So, there you go.
He's probably 5'1".
Unsure. But yeah, there's Mario's shoes. You can go visit it.
That's there are some games where you can equip different shoes, like I think like the Paper Mario or the Mario and Luigi games.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
but so these are his canon.
There
shoes.
Are items, there are shoe items that appear throughout the game. So it's not the weirdest, though. I will say I think the hat probably matters more, but okay.
Yeah, that's true. The lacing is kind of awkward.
A little bit.
They have some stuff talking about his trusty shoes, I guess, and how the craftspeople for the film's creative team actually stitched real shoes. So,
okay,
there you go.
Well,
this is
thank you, craftsmen.
Some shots of them actually making the shoes.
Did they put that on there too? Well,
yeah, I think that this is just on the website. You can go to this company that made the shoes website, and you can view this video. They
I mean, it's cool, but like Mario's not much of a cobbler, so
I don't mind. You know, why not?
It's a cool thing. Again, I enjoy the reality that I'm living in right now.
Is this major news?
No,
Not
but
sure.
is this my news? Yeah.
So there you go. You have Mario's shoes.
Well, before we get too much into this, I also want to give a shout out to the French actor for Mario. Does an absolute killer job dubbing over Mario's voice. Fantastic. Anyone who's curious, you should probably look it up because I think it does just enough Charles Martinet in there to feel like Mario, but also dialed back just enough to where I'm like, I would watch this for an hour and a half and not want to rip out my ears.
I'll include a link or something like that. So we have the SMB Super Mario Bros Plumbing.com website. And if this isn't the most early 2000s thing in the world,
it's trying to be.
What are these testimonials? Also, this broken image.
Hold on. Click on the pipes.
Oh,
they make sound effects.
There are indeed sound effects.
And yeah, I forget, but if you click on them enough, it'll eventually just start playing the Mario Brothers theme song. But I don't know if I can't hear it, so you're gonna have to put that in later.
It's mainly just making some sound effects.
Everything's clickable too.
About Us page. Welcome to Super Mario Bros. Plumbing. We are brothers, and yeah, we're super. We are super. My little but taller brother Luigi and I were tired of dealing with spiky bosses, so we jumped at the opportunity to take on Brooklyn's plumbing problems by ourselves. Family owned and operated, we aim to one-up the competition with our expert white glove service. Thanks for checking us out, Mario Luigi. Man, spiky
I
bosses, all of so brilliant.
I appreciate it.
Also, this is the laziest thing that websites used to do back in like the early 2000s, late 90s, is that all of these links are just the exact same page. If you click
but it just goes down.
Yeah. These testimonials, never seen a plumber actually go inside a pipe on the job, but I gotta say, love the thoroughness inside the pump. Saw the plumber's flyer hanging up at Punch Out Pizzeria. That's a fun reference. These guys turned out to be fantastic.
I love the Punch-Out games, so thank you whoever did that.
The 1 star.
So
there's
Spike
no
is
loyalty with Mario and Luigi.
So okay, so I think, and again, people correct me if I'm wrong, the main bad guy in the Mario Brothers movie from the 80s is called Spike.
Oh, is he like their boss or something? It's been forever.
Yeah, I could be completely wrong. I saw this movie when I was 6 years old, and it was only the one time. But it was, I think that's what it was.
I like this one. Bro's mom. The
It's
Mario
their mom.
Bros are the very best in the business. They're polite, professional, adorable, and treated me like family. This is so incredibly their mom that posted this.
I like how it's past tense.
Yeah, exactly. Oh my gosh. This is fantastic. Careers. Oh my god, I like how they just slap
you can
this
clearly
image
see
on
they
top
put it over.
Yeah. They're hiring for a dispatcher, a bookkeeper, marketing manager, and a driver. So, everyone go ahead and apply. Van tour. So I'm assuming this is
so
where April
That's cool.
1st. Maybe we should go.
Where exactly will they be?
Los Angeles.
Click it. Can you click it?
No.
Oh, damn.
No, I can't, unfortunately. But maybe we should make a point of that. That's on
Is it? I feel like that's on a Saturday.
April. Yeah, that's on a Saturday. Maybe we should make a point of it.
Saturday.
That's before the movie comes out. Maybe we should make a point of it.
Yeah, I'd be down to go see that.
Yeah. Van tour.
Oh my god.
That
There's
just
a
made
live
a
chat?
sound. That just made a sound.
What did it make?
The
Uh,
Mamma Mia, thanks for choosing Super Mario Bros. Plumbing. How can I help you today? How about
Book now.
Book now? Great, find a date and time here. No way.
Oh, so cool. You just kind of doxed yourself a bit.
Oh, that's clever. Oh, yeah.
Maybe blurred out.
Wow, that is clever, these guys. Is there anything else I can help you with today? I'm assuming this has like a... Why choose us? We know what it feels like to be the little guy in a big world. We'll make you feel like you're the ruler of your kingdom.
Partnership story?
Well, we're not just bros, we're brothers. So we've known each other forever and have been inseparable ever since. Book an appointment. Is there anything else I can help you with? Contact us. They really want us to book the appointment. They wanted every possible link to this page.
Tell us why not. I need more information. Okay.
I'm here for something else that would have been pretty funny too. What do you need? More about your background. Oh, pricing would have been interesting. Patented double dash drainage.
Oh, yes. References.
Oh, this is just fantastic. Frequently asked
I told you
questions.
this is a fun site. I really like it.
Are you really brothers? Yes. Do you always work together? Always. What areas do you service? Find us around either Brooklyn or Queens, but most likely Punch Out Pizzeria. Are there any plans to expand?
Oh.
Nope. We love being in Brooklyn. No plans on leaving. That being said, though, we'll visit anywhere that has good slice of pizza. This is quite clever. I really like this. Services. Don't let small lake turn into a big boss of a problem. If you've got a pipe with a problem, chances are we can fix it. What if it's clogged pipes? Working hours would have been fun too. We've seen it all. Plants reptile pets, even loose change. Claws can happen with anything, so don't you worry. We have a 100% completion rate.
Ha! I love the video game references.
Wow, this is so fun. Legal and credits. Naturally, of course, yeah. Makes sense.
Yeah. They'll still professionalize that part.
Huh?
They'll still professionalize by that part.
Yeah.
Professionalize. Yeah.
Professionalialize. Built by Mario and Luigi.
If you click on copyright, does it do anything?
Nope.
Okay. It's not copyrighted.
Clearly these brothers made this business themselves. So
it's not copyrighted. They didn't copyright it.
No, not at all.
Okay.
Wow. This is just fantastic. I think that's everything that we really wanted to talk about.
Yeah, I'm sure there might be some odds and ends and loose change here or there, but generally speaking, I think this is everything we know about the movie, and I want to come back to this and talk about it afterwards, because
absolutely.
I honestly think that this is probably gonna be the best gaming movie. All right, and before I held that title with Detective Pikachu and Sonic 2. So I think those two are the other best video game movies. There are others that are noteworthy, but generally the rest are not good, generally speaking. So I'm looking forward to it.
Now that we've recovered and had ourselves a little chat, what did you think?
Leave us a comment on YouTube and like the episode.
That really helps us out.
We're also on Twitter and Instagram at the Low HP Podcast if you want to reach out there.
And subscribe if you want to catch more of us on YouTube.
We're also on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Links in the show notes as always.